All right, here we go. One round loaded into the magazine, completely uncut. I'm not quite sure how far this is. Woohoo! Sunday Gunday. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. I hope you are all having a great Sunday morning so far. Now, out of all of these small compact guns that I've covered here on the channel, this is one that I have shot in a video in the past, but I never actually gave it the full Sunday Gunday treatment. I really don't have a good reason as to why I haven't. I guess I've just always been more of a fan of the bigger double stack counterparts. This one, however, has a couple extra features that made me go, ooh, okay. So today we're taking a look at the Performance Center M&P Shield 2.0. Smith & Wesson took all of the features of their much-loved full-size M&P pistols and put them into this slim, lightweight package, and then even sprinkled some Performance Center goodness in there. The Shields are known for being reliable, easy-to-conceal pistols that even come at a lower price point than most of its strong competition. The Performance Center version of this pistol comes with a factory ported barrel and slide, making an already manageable handgun even more of a pleasure to shoot by reducing the muzzle flip. The 2.0 versions are built on a polymer frame with an embedded steel chassis, just like the larger counterparts. Performance Center also enhanced the trigger on this shield, making it even better than it was before. On top, the slide is fitted with high-vis fiber optic sights, red in the rear and green up front. I can already tell that they are super bright, and I think I'm going to enjoy these a lot. The gun also has an external thumb safety if you are into that kind of thing, and it ships with 2 magazines, one flush fit holding 7-in-1 rounds, or the extended one giving you 8-in-1, as well as a nicer grip to hold on to. Now, I did mention that I have shot a Performance Center shield here on the channel in the past. That one happened to be chambered in 40, and this one is, of course, chambered in 9mm. If I had to guess, I would say that I'm probably going to be able to shoot this thing very well, much like every M&P that I pick up, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, and I hope I didn't just jinx myself there. Now, since these magazines are small, I'm going to load 2 of them up. We'll take it out here, put some rounds down range, and then I will come back for my first mag impression. I'm going to start off by using the larger of the 2 magazines. This one is 8 and then 1 if you have one chambered. This does give you that little bit of a grip extension on here. So once that is in the gun, I can actually get all of my fingers on there, and it feels pretty comfortable. Now let's see if I notice any difference with that porting on there. Now we're gonna go for one more of the smaller magazine, and this one definitely leaves my pinky kind of hanging off the bottom there. See if I can keep it on. All right. Alright guys, back for my first mag impression with the new 2.0 Performance Center shield. I'm just going to start from the top down with these sights. As you can tell, it is super bright out here. It is very early morning and the sun is just coming up, and these sights are picking up every little bit of sunlight out here, and they are very, very bright. If you're ever looking for sights that are super bright and give you a very fast target acquisition, these definitely work great with my eyes. And there's a good chance that no matter how your eyes are, you will be able to pick these up. Now I'm gonna move down right to this ported barrel and slide. Is that noticeable? Yes, it definitely is. Not only can I feel that that reduces muzzle rise, but you can also feel the round a little bit more. It makes it a little more concussive because it is obviously shooting gas out the top of this gun. For those who may not understand what is going on here, as the bullet is traveling down this barrel, it passes these 2 ports in the top here, and as the bullet goes past that, any gases that are behind that bullet are vented out towards the top. That happens pretty much at the exact same time as the bullet exiting the barrel where the muzzle rise would normally be. Since those gases are leaving the front of that barrel in sort of a V shape, it pushes the front of the muzzle down when you would be normally feeling that recoil, and that will keep your front sight post on target a little bit longer, and hopefully it will make you more accurate with follow-up shots. I'm definitely looking forward to testing this out a little bit more, and I wish I had a stock shield to compare it next to. But anyway, also on the slide, this thing is very easy to rack and manipulate. All of the controls are right where you would expect on an M&P. The serrations are nice and functional as they are on the larger counterparts, and you can still get your thumb over the front there. Those ports are there to obviously vent the gases, but they also add a little bit of traction if you want to press check this thing. Now back to the controls, the mag button is very positive as they are on most of these shields. I've never had an issue with that. These magazines are metal as well, so they slide out of the gun nice and easily. If you only have 7 or 8 rounds in a magazine, it would really be nice to have that speedy reload locked down. It is so damn bright out right now, oh my gosh. It's actually getting a little warm too. All right, now one thing on this gun that I'm not a huge fan of, but I understand why they would put it on there. It is an option, and that is the external safety. I can definitely reach it with my thumb. Again, this is going to be good if you are a right-handed shooter. For a left-handed shooter, this is not something that you can flip to the other side, so it would be a little bit difficult to actuate that. One thing to note though is that this thing is very definitive. It's not in the way at all because it is low profile, but I know if that safety is on or off just by that positive click. If this thing is in the safe position, that does not impede the slide from working. You can rack a round out of the chamber if you need to, and while the safety is on, it basically just stops your trigger. I personally do not really care for external safeties like this, but I can also appreciate it if the trigger is very light. And we will talk about this trigger in a little bit. Now moving down to the last part, which is the frame. This thing actually feels pretty damn good in my hand. I was never really a fan of how slim the shields felt. Don't get me wrong, they are great for concealed carry. They're kind of rounded and it just feels really good if this is up against your body. It basically goes unnoticed. But I do find that I shoot a little bit wider of a grip just a little bit better. The texturing on here is pretty much the same as the rest of the 2.0 lineup. However, on the shield, it seems to be a little bit more subdued. It's not quite as aggressive as the 3.6 or the 4-inch, which I've covered on the channel in the past. Some people say that the other texturing is a little bit too aggressive, but over time I've actually come to like it. This basically feels like the texturing on their double stack lineup, but just a little bit less aggressive. That's obviously going to be very nice if this thing is rubbing up against your skin all day. The extra little pinky extension on here is a nice touch. I can get a full-handed grip on here, and because of that, it actually feels good. Now, it's not quite as good if I'm using the smaller magazine. My pinky definitely hangs off the end just a little bit. Now, if I really squeeze my fingers, I could probably get it on there, but it's more comfortable to just leave it hang off the bottom. So those are some of my first hands-on thoughts with the Performance Center Shield. Now it's time to load up these magazines a little bit more. I'll probably put 100 rounds through this thing, and then I will come back and give you my final thoughts. Now I'm going to try some distance testing. We're back at 30 yards. Now we're at the 40-yard line. And now the 50 mark. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty damn good. Now, one of the great things about this ported barrel is that it mitigates recoil and it allows you to put follow-up shots on target much faster, so let's give this a shot. Yeah, so that was about 15 yards and all 8 shots on target. Last 4. All right guys, back for my final thoughts on the Performance Center M&P Shield 2.0. As you could probably guess, I am a big fan of this gun. I like pretty much all of the M&P series pistols that I've shot, and they are definitely some of the strongest competition out on the market right now. I think this is definitely one of the best options that you can get right now, especially when you compare it to everything else in the same category. Other guns like the Glock 43, even that new Mossberg, the MC1SC. There's a lot of good options out there, but I believe that this is one of the best in its class. Now, one thing that I noticed that Smith & Wesson doesn't really have is anything competing with that sort of bigger capacity market, but in a smaller framed gun. Like now the Glock 43X, the SIG 365, those are guns that are holding 10 or more rounds. Oh my gosh, with the sun again. So anyway, this is nice in the form factor department. I do like that I can get a full-handed grip on here and I can shoot this gun very well, as you guys saw. The next step up for this with Smith & Wesson would be the M&P 3.6 inch. With that one, you are getting 15 capacity and you are getting closer to the double stack full-size line of the M&Ps. Now, I don't think this is really a necessity, but it would be cool to see Smith & Wesson come out with something that competes with that like half stack, almost double stack type of market. Maybe if they widen the shield just a little bit and gave you sort of like a half stack scenario and you could get 10 rounds in here with giving you just a little bit extra to hold on to. I think that would be a very cool option. However, it is very much marginal. There really isn't a need for something like that because there isn't a whole lot different between this and the 3.6. So I really don't think Smith & Wesson will come out with anything like that anytime soon, but that would be kind of neat to see. But getting back on topic, as far as a single stack 9mm goes, this is definitely in probably my top 2 or 3 overall. Oh, we never even talked about the trigger. So one of the reasons why I actually prefer this safety on here now is because of this trigger. The trigger is actually very light when you were comparing it to some other options out there. This does have that articulating M&P trigger, which I'm personally not a big fan of, but it actually kind of goes unnoticed. There's a nice smooth take up to the wall, the brake, very clean brake, and it is actually very light when you're comparing it to others. The reset, it's not super tactile and audible, but it's definitely manageable. And then you are, of course, sitting right on top of the wall for another brake. Now, Smith & Wesson definitely improved their 2.0 line with these triggers. They are definitely making some very, very nice triggers now coming straight from the factory. And as you saw, this is a trigger that I can work with very well, and I shoot these guns pretty damn accurately. They point naturally in my hand when compared to some others, and I just really like the entire M&P lineup as a platform. Now, if I were to carry something like this, I might be able to live with that light trigger, but at the same time, it is nice to have that external safety there just for a little bit of added peace of mind. So now you guys finally know my opinion on the shields. If this is something that you shoot well and you are in the market for a single stack 9mm, this one definitely gets my thumbs up of approval. You should try to go out to your local range, see if you can rent one and shoot one, and see if it will work for yourself. Now that is all that I had for this Performance Center Shield. If you guys have any questions on it, feel free to leave those in the comments down below and I will try to answer them. Oh, with this sun again, man. Cloudy, not cloudy, cloudy, not cloudy. All right, well, if you are new to this channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week, and that is going to be all for today. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.